A senior OpenAI executive just put $50 billion on the record, under oath, and the jury that gave OpenAI its win never actually ruled on whether spending that much fits a charitable mission. This is Musk versus Altman Daily. Today we're looking at what that 50 billion compute figure means in a case that turned entirely on the statute of limitations, and why those two things landing in the same week matter.
50 billion. 1 year. In open court. If Florida AG Moody wanted a hard number to hang next to the phrase, insatiable AI arms race, somebody just handed it to her under penalty of perjury.
We'll get to Moody, but first, today's step back draws a clean line between what the jury actually decided and what OpenAI's team has been suggesting it decided. That distinction is carrying a lot of weight this week. Here's BERNAMA.
San Jose, California, May 6th. BERNAMA DPA. ChatGPT developer OpenAI expects to spend about $50 billion this year on computing power, a senior executive said in court on Tuesday, reported German press agency DPA. OpenAI co-founder and president Greg Brockman disclosed the figure while testifying in a lawsuit brought by tech billionaire Elon Musk, who is also a co-founder of OpenAI.
Greg Brockman took the stand and said, under oath, that OpenAI expects to spend $50 billion on compute this year alone. Not a press release number, courtroom testimony. And that lands in a case where the jury ruled on the statute of limitations, not on whether that scale of spending fits a nonprofit origin mission.
Florida AG Moody called it an insatiable AI arms race in her complaint. And now, there's a number in the trial record to hang on that phrase. $50 billion. That's not just rhetoric anymore.
And the charitable trust theory was never decided on the merits. We confirmed that yesterday. So the question of whether deploying $50 billion in compute is consistent with advancing AI for all of humanity is still legally open. Brockman just handed future plaintiffs a very specific asset figure to work with.
If you're trying to sort out what came from charitable donations versus investor capital, and that was always the accounting question Musk's theory depended on, $50 billion in annual compute spend makes it a lot sharper and a lot harder to shrug off. Let me step back with one question. If the jury sided with OpenAI and Sam Altman, what did that actually decide? Did it bless the nonprofit to for-profit structure, or just reject Musk's specific legal claims?
Really important distinction, and the short answer is only the latter. The 9-person jury found, unanimously, that Musk simply waited too long to sue. He missed the statute of limitations window. Per CBS News, the jury found he blew past a 3-year deadline, and OpenAI had argued anything before August 2021 was off the table. Judge Yvonne Gonzalez-Rogers accepted that verdict and dismissed all of Musk's claims immediately. Now, those claims were substantial. He'd filed a roughly $150 billion lawsuit alleging Altman and Greg Brockman betrayed the company's original nonprofit mission and personally enriched themselves, per Al Jazeera. But here's the key point flagged by legal analysts at the University of Auckland. The jury never reached the substance of those allegations. Whether OpenAI's conversion to a for-profit structure violated its charitable obligations, whether Microsoft's deep involvement crossed any legal line, whether Altman and others were unjustly enriched, none of that was decided on the merits.
So OpenAI walks out of that courthouse without a finding that what they did was actually legal or proper. The court just never got there?
Exactly. And that's what to watch going forward. Musk has already vowed to appeal, calling the outcome, his words on X, a calendar technicality, per MIT Technology Review. More importantly, the University of Auckland analysis puts it plainly. The core question of whether OpenAI honored its founding charitable obligations remains formally unanswered by any court, which means the governance and public trust questions around OpenAI's restructuring are still wide open.
Got a tip, a correction, or a question you want us to take on next week? Send it to Musk Vaultman Daily at lanternpodcasts.com. We really do read what you send. You'll find links to every story we covered today in the show notes, if you want to dig deeper over the weekend or circle back to anything that stood out. That's Musk v. Altman Daily for today. This is a Lantern Podcast.